Hey, hey, beautiful. A lot of us have been feeling quite exhausted lately. Hopefully, it's not you. But if it is you, if this does speak to you, what if the thing exhausting you isn't simply everything you have to do, but everything you've been carrying that was never actually yours? Other people's emotions, other people's expectations, other people's responsibilities, the need to keep the peace, the pressure to hold everything together, the belief that loving someone means taking on what belongs to them. And what if this full moon is here to remind us that being compassionate does not require us to abandon ourselves? Peaceful greetings, family, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where astrology meets alchemy, where we take what's happening in the cosmos and bring it down into our real lives, our relationships, our healing, our choices, our bodies, our patterns, and our becoming. I am Bashea Imana, the alchemist, your life coach and the founder of the Umoya Well. And as always, I am here with my celestial sister and brilliant co-host, Vanessa of Vanessa Astrology, bringing her depth, precision, wisdom, and ability to help us understand not only what's happening in the stars, but what it may mean in our lives we are actually living. Peace, Diana.
Hi, Bashea. Hi, friends.
And family, this moon is special. In the early hours of August 28th, we meet a full moon and a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. And because this is an eclipse, we're not simply talking about the normal culmination and release of a full moon. We are talking about a turning point, a revelation, a culmination, perhaps even the closing of a chapter that has been unfolding in our lives for nearly 2 years. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and there's something beautifully appropriate about meeting an eclipse here, because Pisces understands endings. Pisces understands surrender. Pisces understands what happens when we finally stop trying to control what life has already told us it's time to release. But there's another side to Pisces. Pisces is sensitive, intuitive, compassionate, deeply connected. And sometimes that beautiful sensitivity can become absorption. Sometimes compassion becomes over-responsibility. Sometimes service becomes self-sacrifice. Sometimes connection becomes enmeshment. And sometimes we become so accustomed to feeling everyone and everything around us that we lose track of a very important question. What is actually mine? What is mine to feel? What is mine to heal? What is mine to fix? What is mine to carry? And what belongs to somebody else? Because this full moon in Pisces is sitting opposite the Sun and Mercury in Virgo. And Virgo comes in with another kind of medicine. Pisces feels, Virgo discerns. Pisces opens, Virgo creates a container. Pisces reminds us that we are connected. And Virgo reminds us that being connected does not always mean we are responsible for everything we can feel. And then, family, Uranus comes into the chart and changes the whole conversation. Those are the things that Diana's going to talk to us about. I will say this, though. Uranus is the planet that says you cannot keep doing this the same way simply because this is the way you have always done it. So this eclipse may bring a realization that feels sudden. A conversation may shift something. Information may surface. You may see relationship differently. You may recognize a pattern you could not see before. You may finally put words around something your body has been trying to tell you for months, maybe even years. There can be a moment where you simply realize, I can't unsee this anymore. And sometimes liberation begins exactly there. Not because everything around us immediately changes, but because we change the way we see it. And so tonight, we're going to go deeper than usual full moon conversations about letting go. Because sometimes we hold things for a reason. Sometimes overfunctioning gives us this false security. Sometimes being needed helped us feel loved. Sometimes being the strong one became part of our identity. Sometimes carrying everyone became so familiar that we stopped realizing how heavy it was. And this eclipse is asking, what happens when the version of you who learned to survive is no longer the version of you who is being called forward? What if sensitivity does not have to mean absorption? What if compassion does not have to mean self-abandonment? What if being capable does not automatically make something your responsibility? What if boundaries are not the opposite of love, but part of what makes real sustainable love possible? And what if surrender doesn't mean giving up? What if surrender simply means that we finally stop fighting to keep alive something whose season has already ended? That's where we're going tonight. We're going to talk about this Pisces Virgo eclipse axis. We're going to talk about Uranus and the revelations that can rearrange our thinking in an instant. We're going to talk about intuition, discernment, boundaries, the nervous system, the body, and the difference between loving people and carrying people. And we're going to ask ourselves what it might look like to become not less open, but consciously open. Not less loving, but more whole. Not less connected, but more deeply rooted in ourselves. So wherever you are, settle in. Take a breath. Bring your curiosity. Bring your journal if you have one. And most importantly, bring your willingness to tell yourself the truth about what has become too heavy to carry into your next chapter. Welcome to the Lunar Lounge, and let's take it to the moon.
Welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where the night slows down for you. Celestial rhythms moving, every breath aligns the truth. Astrology meets alchemy, stars whisper what to do. Come sit beneath the moonlight, let the magic carry you. Aligning with the stars, Lunar Lounge. Aligning with the stars, moon magic.
All right, beautiful people, and we are back. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe, leave us a comment. We want to know how we can serve you better. We want to know what you're getting out of this. And now, let's go and take it to the stars with Diana Vanessa, the astrologer. All right, everyone, we are here. Diana is in the house. Diana, can you just go ahead and take us to the chart?
Yes, I will. And hi, it's nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yes, so we're here to talk about the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse that's happening this week. It is happening on Friday, August the 28th. Oh, in the wee hours of the morning, approximately 12:18 a.m. Because this is a full moon and a lunar eclipse, I thought we could separate the full moon part of it for a second and just center ourselves in our realization that happens during a full moon. We've got the sun in Virgo and the moon in Pisces. I want us to think about what has been showing up in our environments that are reflective of what we're seeing with the Pisces Virgo axis. And two of the themes that I've seen thus far that are really hitting hard with this full moon coming up are themes related to health and wellness and needing to get better.
Right.
And another strong one I've seen is one that I talk about often when I talk about the Pisces Virgo areas of our charts, and that is, how do we turn our dreams, our visions, how do we make them real with Virgo?
I love that. And it's very interesting that you said the health and wellness to get us started, because I just finished having a conversation with my husband about, look, my health and my wellness is going to be my number one priority, and everything else comes after that. And this is an area that I am no longer going to compromise, which means I'm taking a lot of things off of my plate. And this is where I'm going to focus my time. And it has to become the priority. So the fact that you're mentioning it now in alignment with what's happening with this Pisces Virgo axis is right on time. And I feel like I'm moving in alignment because health is the number one priority. Yeah.
100%. So we have this full moon coming in big and bright. We're paying attention to what is happening in our environments around Pisces themes, hospitals, spiritual life,
Yeah.
imagination. Pisces is related to surrendering,
Yeah.
letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun here is in Virgo. And the sun is showing a spotlight on Virgo themes. The sun in Virgo plotline is analysis, education, also writing. Virgo is a sign associated with writers and the power of the pen. Mainly, I'm getting a lot of how do we take what's happening in the Pisces area of our chart and use that to create wellness, use it to create better health, use it to refine, to structure, to make things more efficient. During the full moon, the sun, and let's imagine this is the earth, are in alignment with the earth between the sun and the moon. A lunar eclipse happens when the moon passes into the earth's shadow. The moon is associated with our bodies, our emotions. It's a transmitter. So I'm thinking about it this way. A moon in partial shadow, what does that symbolize, Bashea? To me, it symbolizes the transmission of maybe some hidden truths, some subconscious things that we need to see. What do you think about when you think of the moon in a partial shadow?
I'm thinking some of the same things as far as like the hidden truths that are waiting to actually be revealed, right? Things that are not quite on the surface.
Yep.
So these undercurrent like feelings or emotions, or even like intuitively, where we have these like gut feelings and we're not quite acting on them. But now is the time, right? There's something that is starting to rise to the surface or to come out.
Yes, 100%. So when we have the solar eclipses, when we have the new moons, we're dealing with new beginnings.
Right.
When we have solar eclipses, they're like faded new beginnings. We're talking about a full moon, which usually is a culmination, an ending, a realization of the thing. When we talk about harvest, we're realizing the fruit of our work. And so with the lunar eclipses, we're getting these faded, supersized culmination moments and endings.
Right.
And this is emphasized by the fact that we're dealing with Pisces, which is a sign that's all about endings and letting go.
Pisces is the end of the zodiac. Pisces is a professional when it comes to endings.
Yep. when the sun and the moon are configured to these nodes. Right now, the nodes are in Aquarius and Leo. These are still eclipsy because they're still within range of the sun and moon. We're actively in this eclipse zone where a lot of the things that are happening are not within our control.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I've been musing about is how do you work with eclipses when there's so much that's not within our control, but we're still human, we still got lives, and we still have messages and directions that are coming to us from what's happening with these lights in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
We've been having eclipse cycles in Pisces and Virgo since September of 2024.
Right.
This Pisces Virgo season, so to speak, is going to end with a lunar eclipse in Virgo in February.
You talked about the 2 years. It's interesting because you brought up 2024. And when you brought it up, I was actually thinking about this 2 years. This is a part of a much larger eclipse story that has been unfolding since 2024. What chapters do you feel, based on the chart, are we completing here? And what might those who are watching this look back on from the last 2 years to understand what's culminating right now?
That's a wonderful question. And the 2 year story that's culminating is the story around surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it this way because I want to speak to my actual experience having done this for 2 years in angular placements in my chart. This is my chart, basically. I'm a Gemini rising, and I have Virgo in the fourth house, which is the house of home and family and ancestry. And I
Mm-hmm.
have Pisces in my 10th house, which is career and vocation. One of the 2 year stories for me has been around letting go of certain ideas I have around my spiritual path as an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
I have strong Pisces in my chart. There's been a lot of letting go of this old identity of who I was when it comes to my professional life. And I have been embracing this new spiritual path, letting go of the old version of how Diana showed up in professional settings. Then the other aspect of this is that I went from being in, I would say, like an Aquarian church community to spending the last 2 years doing a lot of the spiritual part on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a lot of release because this is the first time in my life where I wasn't in church
Mm-hmm.
receiving all of my messages from the pastor.
Right.
The last 2 years has really involved a letting go of who I see myself as professionally as well as who I see myself as spiritually,
Right.
and embracing a new version of that. And the Virgo part of it has been me struggling to let go of my desire to control outcomes at home with family members. It has required me to continue to exercise a lot of the I'll help you, but I'm going to help you figure out how to do it yourself.
Yes.
Because I realized that I had created a lot of codependency in my life.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps some enabling.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Everyone came to me if they had issues. And I was like, this is overwhelming. It's stressful. I can't do this anymore. It's like, well, Diana, it's because you set it up this way. I really had to spend a lot of alone time
Mm-hmm.
watching old parts of my identity float away.
Yes.
And then also being intentional around allowing the people around me to live their lives and to figure things out for themselves. You and I spent some time talking last week before we got into the solar eclipse about some of the ways in which we have been working with the nodes, having been in Pisces and Virgo, and noticing what we've been doing. We described it as what we've been doing more of, Pisces, i.e., focusing on our health as part of our daily routine, resting, surrendering to flow. And when we talked about doing less of the Virgo, we were talking about some of the Virgo things that we were letting go of in terms of perfection.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about the new direction
Right.
that we have been going in and what we've been releasing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things is Pisces helps us understand what happens when we finally stop trying to control what life has already told us. It is time to release. It's really about that surrender. Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about a full moon, we're talking about integration. How
Mm-hmm.
do we bridge two opposites, so to speak? Think about how we've been releasing, integrating, and balancing health and wellness, our relationship to service,
Yes.
the daily spiritual life,
Right.
serving without self-sabotage,
Yes.
trust versus control, flowing unapologetically as a spiritual being in a body,
Right.
surrender, compassion with borders, meaning giving compassion but having it with boundaries.
Right. Having those boundaries.
Yes,
Right.
yes. The moon in Pisces here needs structure. It needs support. And with the moon representing our emotional and bodily needs, this moon in Pisces is asking, what kind of environment do we need to be in? What kind of environment do we want to surround ourselves with? One of the things about Pisces, and I talk to people who have Pisces placements in their charts, is how important it is to be aware of your environment when you have strong Pisces placements. And do you know why that is?
No, go ahead and share.
So Pisces,
Well,
you do, I think you do.
I actually do, but I'll go ahead.
Pisces is a water sign, and water signs tend to be the psychic sponges of the zodiac.
Yes. Yes.
They absorb the room.
Right.
They absorb the moods. They can clock when things are off in the environment. Pisces can be very porous.
It makes perfect sense. It's water, and it will take the shape of any container that it is put in.
Yes.
And so your container is your environment, and it will take that shape of whatever container it is housed in.
Let's imagine you are the Pisces moon here. If you are in an environment that is full of addiction, decay, sadness, more often than not, if you are that Pisces moon sitting in that environment, you are going to be absorbing that. And I think that's important because we often forget that we are metaphysical beings and how important it is to be aware of the environments that we are in.
This makes me think about, especially during the full moon, that it's a time to release an old definition of love, right? A definition of love, which meant we had to carry beyond our capacity, where we had to constantly be fixing or absorbing or sacrificing or overextending ourselves or enduring. And I think that right now, this is introducing us to another possibility: love with discernment.
Yeah.
Right? Compassion with boundaries, intuition with grounding, service without being a martyr, right? Being able to surrender without disappearing. It goes back to belonging without abandoning yourself, right? So many times I hear women talk about, I've lost myself in these love relationships. And everybody has a need to belong. And that's part of being loved. But how do you belong, whether it's a one-on-one relationship with a person, or even love within a family, a community, a group? How do you belong without losing who you are?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the redefining of what we were told love is.
Yeah. That's just absolutely beautiful. The wonderful things about Pisces is that Pisces is the place where we can go deep into our visions, fantasies, longing, and our dreams. And I think this is also a place where we have that ability, ease of trusting our spiritual wisdom. One of the things I like about this moon is that the ruler of this moon, Jupiter, is here. Jupiter is here in the second part of Leo. And with Jupiter in the second part of Leo, another message that came to me looking at this was that Pisces has an outlet in this Jupiter in Leo for its creative visions and its dreams. Jupiter is providing support to bring meaning or coherence to what it is we're creating. So it's almost like we can put ourselves in an environment, like if we allow ourselves to be in meditation, if we allow ourselves to be in creative spaces, I see support for our ability to expand or to show what we're doing. Every time we've been talking about Jupiter and Leo, we've been talking about one aspect of this being creative expression. When we take a look at what the sun is doing, the sun is associated with light, visibility, our vitality, our conscious purpose. The sun is describing an important part of the plot line here. And so the plot line with Virgo is the ability to discern what we keep and what we get rid of.
What we let go of, right?
Virgo sees the details. It can notice what will work and what will not work. Virgo makes adjustments. It puts things in order. It tends to the practical details.
Right.
And helps figure out what we can actually do now with what we know now. So one aspect of this is the Pisces moon saying, I have a dream, I have a longing, I have a vision. And the Virgo sun can say, okay, well, here's what we can do to make this real. Notice here that the sun is also with Mercury. This is potent because Mercury is at home in Virgo. This is Mercury's territory. This is Mercury's Earth domain. And Mercury, the planet of thinking, language, communication, writing, and commerce, is here with the sun. I've been telling people, if you're a writer, use this energy. Put yourself in an environment where you can let your creation fly, okay? If you have that ability over these next several weeks while Mercury is in Virgo, I would definitely be using it to convey some pretty powerful messages.
That's interesting that you say that, because before we came on live, we were talking about what was happening in our lives. And one of the big things is I've been writing, and I was excited about what I was writing for my job. And I was excited about, there's so many thoughts. And I've kept notebooks in every single bag, even my small purse. I have little mini notebooks because I've just felt compelled to just write. So this is in great alignment. And so all of our authors out here that are listening, or aspiring authors, or even if you want to write the plan that you need to execute right now,
Yes.
Like you said, this is the time for that writing.
Mercury is right there helping articulate. I love that you said if you're not actively writing, you can use this to plan. Remember that you may be receiving messages that there's something that we need to name, write down, talk about, understand differently, or even just make a plan around. Mercury is very much integral part of this partial lunar eclipse. Mercury is going to have, remember the Cazimi?
Yes.
Mercury is going to have a Cazimi with the sun before this eclipse happens. So this Mercury is going to get the power up from the sun. The Cazimi is the death and rebirth moment of a planet. The Cazimi moments are said to be like eureka moments for the planet that's getting the rebirth.
Yeah.
And it's also said to be an opportunity to get support from the king, the solar figure. The Cazimi is going to be exact at, I believe, 1:03 p.m. on Thursday, the 27th. Just know that Mercury, after the Cazimi moment, is going to be reborn. And again, I think after Thursday, there's power to the pen for the writers, the people who are healers.
Yeah.
This is an auspicious moment for Mercury and mercurial things.
I think about it as something becoming illuminated mentally. This is where you're going to get understanding, the information, the insights. It wants precision. It wants to name things accurately, right?
Yes.
Not naming things like, oh, something feels off, but really, this is what feels off. Not, oh, I'm overwhelmed. It's these 3 things in my life are mine to address, and this belongs to somebody else, right?
Amen.
Not, I need better boundaries, but this specific behavior no longer receives access to me anymore. So use that Cazimi to your advantage. Name the thing. Don't just let it float off in the air. Write it down so that you have the clarity and you're able to make decisions and realizations about what's happening.
Part of the key to integrating this Pisces and this Virgo here it's working as best as we can with the realizations, the endings, and the release. And I think Mercury is helping us do that.
But I mean, that's the beauty of the astrology. If you are open and you're listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are moving through life with a consciousness, right? And awareness, the messages are going to come. Whether it's a friend that's speaking to you, whether
Yes.
it's the lady or the man that you hear talking,
Yes.
hear a conversation in the grocery store,
Yes.
whether it's a book that falls in your lap or is gifted to you. I know when I was driving to take my son to college, a big 18-wheeler pulled right in front of me and it said, "Choose love" on the back of it. And I was like, oh,
That
message,
is quite right, right.
choose love. You've got to have the awareness to pick up on the messages.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Uranus. Uranus is such a major player in this chart. What kind of revelations, disruptions, unexpected shifts might this Uranus bring right now? So if we look at the chart and its placement.
This is Uranus right here.
Mm-hmm.
Uranus is in one of my favorite configurations. The
Square.
Yep, with
Sun,
the
Moon, and Mercury, right?
Sun, Moon, and Mercury. One of the first downloads I get from this is Uranus's disruption.
Mm-hmm.
It's a breakthrough, it's sudden change. Uranus is in Gemini. So it's breakthrough in communications,
Mm-hmm.
breakthrough in ideas. I've been receiving breakthroughs through books and information and
Right.
reading.
Mm-hmm.
Conversations with friends have been opening my eyes to the tools that I can use to bring forth the reality that I want to bring forth out of my vision, out of my fantasy land.
Uranus will help you to suddenly see things differently.
This could be, yes, this could
Yeah.
be breakthrough in communication, a sudden message from someone like the Choose Love 18-wheeler. I think that at its best, Uranus is going to be here to surprise, to give sudden opportunities, to text, to talk, to read, to learn,
Yes.
because that is the pathway to taking the productive steps towards realization of what we want. But let's be real, Uranus will destabilize and shake things up. So I'm also recommending for folks to continue to stay in grounding practices.
Mm-hmm.
Because Uranus disrupts in Gemini is a disruption of the nervous system.
Mm.
This could be unsettling information or things that make it hard to integrate this peace and good health and wellness that we're trying to integrate in this Pisces and Virgo axis.
Yeah.
Mars is in Cancer. I call Mars the defender, in Cancer the defender of the home and the people and safety. Mars was showing up as the toll that caretaking has taken on our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of stories last week. It's been coming up a lot for me around family members.
Mm.
We had one significant family member in the hospital last week, and this was after this family member was running around playing hero, trying to save everybody for quite some time. At the same time as this was happening, I was hearing more information and seeing in the news more around the toll on people's health from caretaking family members and not getting the support needed.
Right.
And this was the exact story that this relative is dealing with, literally trying to take care of everyone else's problems and not dealing with her own health situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been seeing that a lot.
Yep, seeing it a lot. Mars is in the sign of the moon, and Mars can struggle in Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing this up because when Mars is in Cancer, we move based on our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon is in Pisces. You know, we could be feeling sad. We can be feeling a lot of grief right now. Some of us may be escaped. We might be living on another planet trying to escape from this one. It's also challenging because this Mars is applying a square to Saturn in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Mars and Saturn contacts, this can be like an astrologer named Austin Coppock describes this kind of contact between Mars and Saturn as the gas hitting the brakes. Mars wants to move forward with something, and Saturn is like, pause.
Pause.
What you doing? So, because this is within 3 degrees and this is a square, I want people to be aware that you may be feeling some pressure around, for example, family caretaking, preventing you from doing your own thing.
Right.
And feeling like the pressures of home and family are cramping the style a little bit around the new independence that Saturn has been trying to bring forth in Aries.
Yeah. I guess maybe to sum it up, when I think about Mars and Cancer, I think about emotional self-protection, right? And
Beautiful, yes.
our emotional body being particularly protective at this time. And you talked about the family stuff. Maybe we start to recognize where we've learned to protect everyone, to keep the peace, to anticipate other people's emotional states, to retreat, to defend, to overfunction. I think like the question for us during this time is that response protecting the present day me, or is it protecting a version of me from the past?
Yeah.
Again, being able to release some of that.
That's great advice. I wrote down the power of intentionality, and it is the power of intentionality to make our dream a reality. As I mentioned before, symbolism behind this moon speaks to bringing the creative vision into reality, but how? And one answer this week came through my meditation. I was meditating with a book that I've been reading called The 365 Tao Daily Meditations by Deng Dao. This is my 365 Tao.
Oh, I have that book.
And it starts by saying, though life is a dream, act as if it isn't. You may understand that life is but a dream, but that doesn't free you from the responsibility to act. The dream may not be of your own making, but you must still engage it and operate within the parameters of the fantasy. You must become the producer, the director, and the actor of a phantasmic stage play. Otherwise, you are aimlessly adrift. And that spoke to me about this axis of the zodiac. Pisces as the dreamer, and Virgo as the ability to put the action behind the dream to make it real.
Right.
We also have something amazing happening during this time, I think is supportive for what we're trying to build and create. This is a world building aspect. We've got Jupiter here in Leo at 12 degrees. Jupiter is at home in this zone of Leo. It enjoys some strength here. This zone of Leo is where the person gets the crown or the achievement or the confidence. And it's applying a trine to Saturn retrograde in Aries. Saturn and Jupiter contacts are, Jupiter shows the ability to create purpose and order. Saturn provides the pattern, the shape, the form. We're seeing old orders being replaced by new ones. And this is fire expression with the 2 outer planets. This is great for creation.
Yes, Jupiter is saying dream bigger, and Saturn is saying build something capable of holding that dream.
Amen.
I love it. Yeah.
And remember, Jupiter's in the sign of the sun. That's why I keep going back to this pen. Jupiter's in the sign of the sun, and the sun is in the sign of Mercury, the writer, the traveler, the oracle, the healer, the temple priestess.
Right.
Don't play with this. We've got this Jupiter Saturn in a trine formation support from now until like the beginning of September. So please, if you can, work with this. We've got fire for the fuel and we've got supplies.
I love it.
Even while we've got the emotional self-protection happening here with Mars squaring up with Saturn, remember, you may be feeling that pressure. Be aware of it. Know what it is. Don't allow it to dissuade you from tapping into these other aspects that are like let the fire fuel the creative vision and allow that to bring that vision into reality. I see support for that in this chart.
I think this moon is teaching us a lot about intuition and freedom and boundaries.
And a lot more independence. So, how do we marry the dream with the design plan here?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, that means we got some work to do.
Yeah,
Got some work to do with this full moon here.
we do. I've been tired. I've seen other people express that as well. So, to the extent you can, get rest this week. Work with it to the best of your ability.
Right. But even getting rest is work. That's your healing work. Rest is your healing work. And so you're still working.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap us up?
Well, everybody, we hope that you have enjoyed this time with us. And please stay in contact. If you look at our notes, it will give our contact information. You can reach me at iam@theumoyawell.com. You can just send me a nice little email. You can also find me on most of the social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, you name it. And then we have our YouTube channels. And my YouTube channel is The Umoyawell. And Diana, if you could just share how folks can contact you.
Yes, so if you'd like to contact me, you can contact me at diana@dianavanessa.com. My website is dianavanessa.com. And you can find me on many of the social media outlets at dianavanessa.astrology. So if you'd like to reach out to us for sessions with Bashea or for reading with me, please feel free to check the contact information.
And also, if you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, or the DMV, as we like to call it, the DC metropolitan area, we host in-person sister circles or new moon circles every month, and we'd love to see you there. And as always, we want to hear from you. So please leave us messages in the chat, what you're doing, what we're doing that you love, what it is that you want to hear, so that we can bring you what you need. So like, subscribe, and also don't forget to share this with someone else who may need this message. But we are just so thankful to each and every one of you who listen every month or twice a month. And we want to build and we want to heal and we want to grow together with you. All right,
Thank you.
beautiful people. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you for the next new moon. Peace.